Peace and blessings. I am back. Yesterday, I needed a little break to just restore my body and my mind. So I allowed myself to take that space. But I am back here. I want to talk to you about a couple of things today. I want to talk to you about one, the notion of choosing better. This whole concept has just been rolling around in my mind for a few days. I just want to go ahead and talk about it. And then I want to share about my course, Energy of Love, which will be on sale throughout the holiday season. Actually, it's kind of started now just so that it's there and it's ready. But I want to talk about the whole notion of choosing better and why that is like problematic and why that's just not the answer for women. So oftentimes, if a woman says that, she was in a bad relationship or, the relationship didn't work out or whatever the case may be, she's told to choose better. And sadly to say, that's not necessarily the answer, because oftentimes, we do choose better, right? We don't necessarily want to sign up for the bullshit, for the drama, or for the fuckery. But the problem is no one self-identifies as who they truly are or with their true intentions. And by that, I mean, I don't know any woman that has met a guy that says, "Hi, my name is Marcus. I'm an absolute piece of trash. I will ruin your life. I'm going to break your heart. I'm going to make you feel that I care just so I can manipulate you. I'm not going to reciprocate any of the energy that you're giving to me. And to make matters even worse, I'm just going to kind of pretend and drag it out. So I'll give you a little bit and then pull back." So, when we meet someone, of course, they're going to present with their best self. They're going to tell you all the things that you want to hear. They're even going to show you the things that you want to see. And that's kind of where we get drawn in, and then we get to a space where we, want to work on that, where we want to get things back to where they were balanced, where we thought we had the better. But unfortunately, when a woman is told to choose better, that one assumes that there is better to choose from. And two, that again takes the blame or the accountability or the responsibility off of the man, off of the person that she was in a relationship with. Secondly, women have started choosing better. We have started choosing ourselves. We've started, choosing to invest our time, our energy, and our resources into other things. And there have been countless stories of women who have, turned a man down, said, "I'm not interested, I'm not dating right now," or "I'm in a relationship," or whatever the case may be. And sometimes these women are stalked, they are assaulted, and many women have been murdered. There are stories that you can find where women are like, "I told this guy no, he cussed me out, he called me all out my name and got aggressive with me." So that's not always an option to, safely say no, to choose better, right? It's not always a safe option for a woman, because our bodies, our spaces, our mind, our energy can be violated. And so what I want to see happen, because sometimes telling a woman to choose better is like telling her to pick a different piece of shit from a pile of shit. You can only choose from what is available. And if what is available is not of the best quality or the highest quality, then what better is there to choose from? And I'm not speaking that like all men are not good men or anything. I'm just addressing the whole notion of choosing better. So I would like to see men do better. I would like to see men be honest with their intentions about what they want from a woman in a relationship. And a lot of times people like to say, "Oh, men just want sex." And I don't really think that's the case. There's a whole sex worker industry that caters to providing physical pleasure for men. But a lot of men will pursue a woman knowing full well that they are not truly interested in that woman, for the sole purpose of manipulating her into giving him something that he wants, whether it's sex, whether it's, physical, tangible items, whatever it is. So I don't necessarily think that's what it's about. I think it's more so the control and the emotional manipulation. And if it is just for sex, then as adults, why can't you just be honest and say that instead of fabricating this whole entire facade, this whole engineered lie of I'm this great guy and I'm really into you, just to destroy someone else's feelings and emotions, and then turn around and tell her she should have chose better when you presented yourself as the better. So I wanted to just touch on that because I see that happen a lot. And in a lot of spaces, it's like women are held accountable for how she's mistreated in a relationship versus telling the men, right? The men that are pursuing the women to be better men. And I think when that can happen, yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Insecurity, immaturity, just the list is so long. But I think that's where the problem is. And furthermore, because women are, they're developing themselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they're pouring on the self-love, they're going to school, getting educations, they're starting businesses, they're going on girls' trips. Women are really investing in ourselves and in our growth and elevating ourselves to a different level, while a lot of men aren't on that same page. So when a woman does, develop herself, because after, a man dogs her out or treats her wrong, then she's also told, oh, well, you didn't love yourself enough. It's because you didn't love yourself that this man mistreated you. When in reality, it's not that she didn't love herself, it's that that man did not love himself. And that's something else that I think is very, very detrimental to women. It's like, oh, well, you wouldn't have chose that relationship if you loved yourself better, or if you loved yourself, then he wouldn't have treated you like that. Well, if he loved himself, then he wouldn't treat her like that. And so again, it's like the blame is always placed on the woman in the situation, no matter what happens. If you are a single mom, oh, well, you should have kept your legs closed, or you should have did this, or you should have did that, or, it's your fault. You picked him, you chose him, you should have chose better. And at what point do we say, hey, goddess, thank you for tuning in. Well, maybe he should have kept his in his pants. Maybe he should have been more accountable. Maybe he should have chose someone more on his level and left me alone. So I find it very funny, but it's always geared towards the women. So they told us that we needed to love ourselves more. So we did all the self-love work. We're taking all the baths. We're going to the retreats. We're getting ourselves, better, loving on ourselves, filling ourselves up. And it doesn't matter how much you love yourself. A broken person can still come into your life, and they can present like the knight in shining armor. And some people I know, they get married, and the night of their wedding day, they think they're about to, go do all the fun things with their new husband, and they wind up being abused that night. Or you're married to this man for 10 years. Everything is great. Y'all take the kids to the soccer games. He's involved. He's the coach. You're on the PTA. You have the house with the white picket fence. And you get a phone call from his other family. So it's like, at what point does the choosing better and the self-love make men behave? So what I believe is happening too, right? A lot of women, they're on their spiritual paths. They're on their self-love journey. Like I said, they're we're educating ourselves, and we're taking care of ourselves in deeper ways. But a lot of men are not doing that same work. So what happens is, okay, we do the self-love. Now they told us to choose better. So we coming out here, we trying to choose better. And there's not better to choose from, because a lot of men are still operating at lower levels, lower frequencies. And that's what I talk about in Energy of Love. It's really about understanding the frequency of that thing that we call love, and why some people can get into these repeat pattern relationships. It's not really about you. And of course, we can be more discerning, but again, somebody can present themselves as whatever they want, and you can be as intuitive as you want to be, and this person, because they are hell-bent on manipulating you, can do so. And so again, it's not necessarily about anything that you are doing. It's not necessarily that you're not loving yourself or that you chose wrong. I know so many women who are like afraid to date because they think they chose wrong. They think that their inner something is broken, that they don't love themselves, and that's why people keep treating them bad. And that's why I posted on Instagram a few days ago, like, the reason that you keep meeting shitty people is because shitty people exist. That's just the facts of life. There's duality. There's going to be great people. There's going to be some not so great people. That's just what it is. Everybody is not going to be peaches and cream. It's just not going to be that way. And it's up to us to like be aware of that, but also not internalize that to where dating is now a complete traumatic experience and you think that you don't love yourself because that's what society is telling you is the problem. And I think that's so horrible because I've never seen where, a man gets dogged out and it's like, oh, bro, you ain't love yourself enough. You need to go do some self-love work. No, it's the woman's fault. She's a bitch. She's a slut. She's a gold digger. She ain't shit. La, 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 la. So again, there's no accountability placed on men. And I think that there's a deep need for healing work because a lot of our men are hurting and damaged in some way for whatever reason. And until that accountability is put there, like, hey, it's time for you to figure out why you are doing these things. It's time for you to get in control of your emotions and to mature emotionally to be able to enter into healthy relationships. Baby, that is a whole conversation. It's always the woman's fault, especially the Black woman, and that's true, but it's time for men to be held accountable. Period, point blank, end of story. Because we cannot choose better if there's not better to choose from. And then there's that whole, oh, well, you're not, I cannot stand the phrase alpha male. I cannot stand to hear women being called female, and that word high value just irritates the life out of me. It does. And I find it so funny. I'm going to talk about that word female a little bit later, probably in a different video. That one really irritates the life out of me. The everything. But so there has to be better for us to choose from, and there cannot be better until men start deconstructing their pain, deconstructing the reason why they feel comfortable creating multiple families and abandoning them. We need to get them to really deconstruct why they need to raise I call them adult boys. Right? So we know the term fuckboy. Like, you can spot them from a mile away. But the adult boys, those are the ones that you think you're choosing better because they're stable in all ways. They have the career. They're probably like a great upstanding citizen. They love their family. They're doing everything right. But when it comes down to their intimate relationships with women, they operate in like they are very immature. They're operating like little boys. So I call them adult boys. That's the grown-up fuck boy. That's the one who, he got a house, he paid a bill, he's taking care of everything, he speaks well, he has all the boxes checked that society says that he needs: a degree, a house, the car, all of those things that make him high value, but he still can't entertain a healthy relationship. Adult boys. They're not fully developed, and there's a lot of healing work that needs to be done around men and around relationships. And I really want to expand into that space to support those men that are willing to go within and look at themselves and do that work. But I really also feel like that's a space where men need to stand up and start really pouring back into their communities and bridging that gap, because until that happens, there's going to continue to be a great divide. And that's why a lot of women are really like choosing themselves. Like, I am opting out, right? Adolescent behaviors. Men that I remember, this man was like, "Oh, give me your phone number so I can text you." You're not finna text me back and forth all day. I'm not doing that. Text. How old are you, sir? Like, what is so difficult about, you don't even gotta dial the number in, you just push the button and you just talk. Like, what is so hard about having a conversation with someone these days? Because texting is good when you already have, I think, feel like a rapport with somebody, because you can kind of know what they're saying and understand it better. But you can't really build a solid relationship off of text messages. Oh, Lord, girl. The WID, the HRU. Like, why can't we spell the word? What? You're like 53. Why can't you spell the words? Where's the apostrophes and the periods and the commas? Oh my goodness. But, and I'm not here to beat up on men at all. I'm just saying, if y'all want us to choose better, please do better. We cannot continue to carry your burden and your trauma and this can go so many ways. There are so many platforms where men, especially within the Black community, are just ripping women apart. Like, your mama didn't birth you. Where did you come from? Because I thought you came from a Black woman, but they're everything under the sun except great. And if that is not a red flag that screams help, like something is wrong with me, why aren't you asking yourself, why do you have such a disdain for women? Who hurt you? And I'm not saying that to be funny, but like, where did this pain come from, and what is the medicine that's going to help soothe it and heal it? Not getting into like multiple oh my God. So there was this guy, right? He was like my neighbor. And like he would try to talk to me. Like, I see, he would wave and stuff. And then one day, like, he got me at the mailbox and we had a little conversation and so on. And we would just have like little neighborly conversations. And he told me, now he was a Black man, and he said that he only dated a Black woman once and she had problems. Something about like was like had depression or something like that. And I was like, well, depression is not, unique to one race. Like, that's a societal issue. It's a disease. It can affect anybody. But to tell me that you don't date Black women because you had an experience with one who was dealing with mental health issues, like, that to me, just like, why would you feel so comfortable telling me that and then think that I would want to like be interested in getting to know you? Like, that doesn't make sense. And I don't understand where this, well, no, that's a lie. I understand where it comes from, but why is this still so prevalent? And I've come across several men who are like doing the exact opposite and speaking to those issues that other people are presenting, like saying, like, you keep saying these angry things about Black women, like, why are you not looking within and doing your own work? But I still don't hear the conversation that takes Black women out of it and talks directly to men who are having these issues with relationships in general, no matter who or what they choose to date, and then dealing with hatred towards women, towards Black women. Where is that conversation that takes us out of it and focuses it on the issue? that's where I would like to see some growth and some talking. And it's hard to even speak to that as a Black woman. I mean, I guarantee you, if this video gets into the right place, it's going to be filled with a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff that proves everything that I said right. And I think it's just sad, because there's such a divide, and it doesn't have to be there. I feel like there just needs to be a lot of education, of healing, of really looking into oneself and resolving whatever those challenges are. And then everybody could just be happy. A lot of issues would go away, and there would be a little more harmony. So we cannot choose better if there's not better to choose from. We cannot choose from the very thing that, is toxic. That's like taking poison purposely. Like, nobody wants to do that. And so, in that whole notion of like, of choosing better, even when a woman chooses herself, we're still wrong. Because she's rejected me, she thinks she's too good. Or like I said, like, women are being stalked, harassed, and murdered for being like, no, I'm not interested, I don't want to date, I'm good. So like, what's safe, and what is it that we're supposed to be choosing if every choice that we make is a wrong, or what's the word, or not deemed appropriate? So yeah, we cannot choose better until there's better to choose from. And I feel like, instead of deflecting, turn the mirror around and look into the mirror and see yourself, and really dig into that. And one of the things, like, even like in the dating space, that I think that every woman should really ask is, have you been to therapy? What do you think about therapy? And really start to like have that conversation. Because a lot of times people have like internalized past traumas, past relationship issues, and instead of being able to like look at the present, relationship or person that they're dealing with, they've got all these other heartbreaks and traumas and deceptions in their mind. And so they're projecting that into their current relationship, when someone is really, that's a much deeper issue. Yeah, it does. It is a much deeper issue that we can't understand. And that's why I said I feel like therapy is a beautiful thing. It truly is. Because then you can, even if you don't understand where your anger or vitriol is coming from, therapy can help you get in there and uproot that, and start to question why you believe the things that you do. Oh, dang, I forgot what I was saying. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, it definitely goes deeper than that. But I know like this conversation is being had in so many different places and spaces. And a lot of it has to do with evolution. Like, you have to grow and evolve. If you are not questioning the things that you're believing, thinking, doing, and I know I get sidetracked, like reading the comments and everything. It's all good. They do happen. Hopefully it'll pop back up in my head. Usually it'll come back to me. But if you're not questioning the things that you think and do and believe, or if you're still operating as a grown adult off of something that you heard when you were 7 years old, that's not going to work. And as a whole, like, we need to learn how to communicate better. Communication means listening, talking, receiving feedback, being able to give feedback, and understanding what you're hearing. But a lot of times what happens is we hear something. I might say, apple pie is good. She hates cherry pie. I didn't say that. What I said was apple pie is good. And then someone would be like, well, what about cherry pie? I didn't say nothing about cherry pie. You mentioned cherry pie. I was talking about apple pie. So, like, hearing what is being said is so important instead of adding things into the conversation that was never present there. And I think that's where a lot of things miss the mark as well. People are afraid to be who they are. They're afraid to talk and speak from the heart and just be themselves, because of course the world has told us, oh, you can't do that, you can't be yourself, you got to pretend to be like this, and you have to be this way, and you got to like these things. But yeah, like, we have to learn to listen. And and listening is helpful when people are being truthful. So that's why too, like, watching, like, behaviors. Do the words match the actions? If the words and the actions are not in alignment, that's a huge sign that something is off. And I know for me, like, in the past, like, I would always listen, because I'm a truthful person. I don't believe in lying. I'm grown. I don't have time to lie and try to remember, wait, did I tell them I was? No, I'm gonna just tell you the truth because that works for me. I don't have a reason to lie. That's stupid. So if I'm speaking to you and I'm telling you the truth, then my assumption used to be that, oh, they're being honest too. Man, did I learn. So we have to keep that in mind and just know that paying attention to words and actions is so huge, because that will let you know whether or not a person is in alignment and in integrity with themselves. Because if you're saying one thing and doing another, that means your heart and your mind are not in alignment. And a person that's not in alignment or integrity with themselves is not going to be in alignment and in integrity with you. And that's one of the things, because, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to start writing my book, and I never start writing my book. So when we aren't truthful to ourselves and we're not even holding our own commitments to ourselves, that can show up in our relationships with other people, right? And then we can doubt ourselves. We doubt our abilities because we know we said we were going to do something that we didn't do it. But when you start keeping those commitments and honoring, those things within yourself, even like little small things, you start to build a deeper sense of trust in yourself, which builds a deeper sense of confidence in yourself as well. And then you're able to show up differently, like within any type of like relationship or connection with someone. It's really all about self. And our relationships are a mirror of us. Sometimes that mirror is showing us things that we don't need in our lives, things that we have. So, and that's another thing. So when people ask, like, okay, well, why am I attracting these bad people into my life? It's also, do you recognize that this is not for you? Do you recognize that you deserve better than what you're receiving? And so at that point, when you start to see, okay, this person's action and words are not in alignment. I don't really like the way that they're communicating. I don't like where, this is going. That when you give yourself permission to close that connection, to leave that situation, you're strengthening yourself even more. And then you're also like, your discernment is raising up. Right. Healing needs to take place within self. When we can do that work and see that, okay, this isn't for me. Nope, I don't want that. I'm not settling for this. You start to get into alignment more so with the things that you truly want and desire. But when you don't have those faculties turned on to where you are using your intuition, you're being discerning, and you have your boundaries and you know what you're operating within, that's when you leave yourself wide open. And that's what we cannot afford to do, because there are, people who are ready and willing to just drain you energetically, mentally, spiritually. And unfortunately, there's a lot of healing work that needs to take place, especially within the community of men. And you have to, yes, you got to know your true value, your true worth. And that's where it all comes from. Knowledge of self, and really upholding your boundaries, keeping your word within yourself, and knowing what it is that you deserve, that is so key and so powerful. So I hope that this conversation has like blessed someone. But I know that like women just keep being told to choose better, and it's like, well, where's the better? What's better? Because it doesn't matter someone's background, their education level, whether they do or don't have children, the type of house they have, the car they drive, the job that they have. Women of all calibers and statutes are running into men who are just not in operating out of their best and highest self. And so my question is, why is that? Why are so many men hurting? And what is it that they're bringing out of themselves that want to cause them to manipulate and hurt people that they either claim to love or that they went into their life with good intentions? So yes, I definitely want to continue this conversation some more, because I think it's one that needs to be had. And I just want women to know, like, it's not your fault so much. Like, what was that book? And act like a lady, think like a man. What? That I never understood the thought process behind. There's so much content that's created for women to understand how men think and how to think like a man. Why aren't we telling men how to act like men? Why aren't we telling men how to understand a woman's emotions? Like, why we gotta become psychologists and scientists to try and dissect whatever is going on with them? And why are they not being taught, hey, women are human beings with emotions, and when you lie and you cheat and you manipulate, that causes pain. So here are some things that you can do instead of doing that. Like, you can be honest with your intentions. You can keep your word. Like, where's that book at? Where's that book? So that's like some of the things. And I think part of it too just comes down to, unfortunately, money. Personal development is a huge industry. Women are the main consumers. So for someone who wants to do like personal development type of work, if your audience is women, then, or if you're wanting to make money and you're speaking to women, they're more likely to invest in what you have to offer. And we don't really need it. Like, we're doing really well. There's a ton of resources, retreats and books and sound baths and sister circles and masterminds and all of these spaces for women to go, to heal, to grow, to evolve. But I want to see that taking place for men. I want to see the man circles or the brother circles. I don't know what they're called. I want to see, content that's speaking to men. If you are, hating women, these might be some of the cause. If you're having trouble connecting with your emotions, here are some resources. And I love Taraji with her foundation, because she had a post out like for men, like Black men, come get free therapy, come get help. More of that is needed on such deep levels, because until the root of that is, until that's uprooted in men, like the issues are going to continue. And it doesn't have to be that way. I think that there is such an opportunity for healing and growth for men, so that there can be happy and healthy relationships, right? Women can't be in happy, healthy relationships if the men that they are in relationships with are not happy and healthy. It's just not going to work. One person cannot be up here vibrating high while the other person is vibrating low. And unfortunately, that happens a lot. Sometimes the person who is vibrating at a higher level, within like a high vibe frequency of love, or what I like to call spiritual love, sometimes if your partner is open and willing, you can help them. They can do the work to get up here. Now you're both vibrating high. But what usually happens is the man is down here and the woman starts to drop down. She starts to drop down. And next thing you know, they're vibrating at a low frequency And once you get down there, you kind of stuck. It's hard to come up while you're attached to this person because their negative energy is dense. So you're down here, and until you let that go, then you can do the work and get back up there. And a perfect example of that is Ciara when she was in her relationship with Future compared to when she was in a relationship with Russell Wilson. Complete different energy that she was exuding. And part of that, of course, is because she, separated from that one relationship. She did her healing work, but it also shows a different quality when someone loves you, when that person is not draining you, when that person is able to pour into you. And that is what a healthy relationship is. Toxic relationship, you're not really going to grow. There's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of bumping heads, and it doesn't have to be that way. But the thing is, right? Men like Future, I don't know if he has like other children, different, Oh, okay. So there was this rapper, wasn't Future. I don't know. It's one of these newer rappers out in Young Baby, NBA, Young NBA, something like that. So there was like a blogger, I guess she's like into the celebrity lives. This man has about 11 children with like 7 or 9 different women. But women are told to choose better, to keep their legs closed. And the women of those children would probably be blamed. Well, you knew he had, 3 kids, so why did you have the 4th? Or you knew he was with this girl, so why this and that? But no one's ever like, sir, like, did you, like, were you intending on having a large family? Were you like, what's the thought process? Like, are you okay? Is there a reason why there's a lot of, single mothers in your past, in your history? And I don't know if he's in a relationship with any of them. This is just an example, but like, it's okay for men to father multiple children, but it's not okay for women to be single mothers. And I don't know any single mothers unless they decided I'm going to adopt a child or I'm going to go, get in vitro fertilization or whatever the case may be. But I don't know if any women who signed up and was like, yeah, I want to have a kid with a man who's just not going to take care of his child. Like that's what I want in my future. Like, I don't think that any woman would rightfully do that. I think a lot of times these men are, again, it comes back to emotional manipulation and immaturity. And what people don't say is like a lot of men who just father children, some of them do so just to keep you stuck to them in some way, shape, or form. Because the concept or the thought process is, oh, well, nobody's going to want her if she has a kid. If she has children, she has no value. So if I give her my baby, then in some way she'll be mine. And there was a post where this guy kind of was saying that, like, yeah, men will get women pregnant to trap them. But society will always tell you, oh, it's the woman. Women, that'd be the last thing I want to get stuck with. Like, I love children. They're great. They're perfect. But no. You can get me trapped. Trap me with your credit card. Trap me on a plane to an exotic country, but not with children. So I find that to be very funny. There's a lot of double, what's it like? I can't think of the word. I'm all over the place. But there's a lot of what is the word? I can't think of it, but I know you all know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of double standards. There we go. Double standards where it's okay. Right. Bora Bora, Abu Dhabi, somewhere in Italy, Greece even. Greece is beautiful. Double standards. Yes, there's a lot of double standards. And a lot of them just make it okay for men to do what they do. It makes it okay for them to operate on the level that they're operating on while requiring women to always do better, choose better, know better. So it's like, what is it? What do you do? So that's why, like, I really just feel like there's a deep call for men to do healing work. And I always find it funny when it just always struck me, like, when I see men who are giving women like relationship advice and talking about the things that men do that are like red flags or that should tell you. Like, I saw this post where this man was like, you know, a man can take you to meet his mom. You can go to the family reunion. He'll ask you to marry him. And he'll like do all of these things that, you know, you think that you're in a legit relationship, and he'll still have a girlfriend on the side or something like that. And I know so many women's like, you know, he took me to meet his mom, and like he had a whole nother like girlfriend and a kid and all this stuff that she didn't know about. And the whole time, like, she's over there around the family thinking it's, oh, like, this is great. So it's like, if a man can show all of the elements of a relationship and it still not mean nothing, then what's the point? Like, what is there to choose from? And why is it women's fault that we believed that being in a relationship meant being in a relationship? It's like, it doesn't add up. And the fact that there's so many men who are comfortable with emotional manipulation is disturbing. And it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing because that's what it is. It's about emotional manipulation, and it's about control. But if that's how you feel, then don't be in a relationship. If that's how you feel, then leave people alone so that you're not hurting other people and breaking people's hearts for no reason, because there's no reason for that. Honesty would solve a million problems if you're just honest. But then it would go like this: hey, I think you're cute. I want to have sex with you. And then she's like, oh, no, thank you. And then who knows? He might decide to follow her home. He might, you know, assault her in some type of way or worse. So it's like it's just very sad. It is very sad. And I know that there are amazing, great men out there who are truly looking to be in healthy relationships. And there are amazing women who are looking for the same. So just make sure that you are connecting with each other and continuing to let love grow and flourish. I am too. I believe that is the case. I am starting to see more men learning more about like spirituality and connecting with self and things like that. So I think that's very beautiful. And yeah, I want to see that as well. I want to see our men healing their stuff, processing in healthy ways, so that we can start to heal our communities and our families and just start making beautiful love again, because that's what it's all about. Everything, like, it's love. Everything. Love is the essence of everything. And so many people are operating out of fear, out of pain, and, you know, trauma. And it's just time to honor, to acknowledge that. Take accountability and start doing work to heal your heart and mind so that you can have better experiences, so that you can be loved the way that you want to be loved as well. Because men want to be loved, and there are women that want to love men, but we cannot do it if you're not open to receiving it, because you're still operating from a place of pain or fear. So that is it, my beautifuls. Oh, so yeah, I wanted to talk about my course, Energy of Love, really quick. So it's going to be on sale this for the holiday season. So I've got everything set up now. So if you want to enroll, you can do so now. But it's over 50% off. I also included 4 bonus live group coaching sessions. That way you can ask questions and get support on the course content or any questions that you may have. There is also a course library so that you can ask questions, and then that content can be added in just to give some additional information and added value to the course. Inside, you'll learn about what the energy of love is. I'll share what spiritual love is. We'll talk about karmic relationships, low vibrational relationships, high vibrational relationships, spiritual love connections. And it really gives you an overview of the different types of relationships and things to look for. It's really helpful for you if you are someone who is like, I keep meeting the same type of person, I keep getting into the same types of relationships, it'll help you identify the types of connections you're making. Plus, there are what I like to call heart work or love work, some journaling prompts, exercises, and things to help you kind of get a little more clarity around your own relationships and to figure out what it is that you do desire in relationships. So I'm super excited and can't wait to get started and to welcome new people in. I'll be sharing more about that. The link is in my bio if you want to go check it out and sign up now. You will have lifetime access. You can get started on it now. You'll have access to all of the modules. You can ask questions. And I'll be adding in the information about the group coaching calls after, I think, the end of this month. So lots of good things are coming up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Kisa. If you have any questions, let me know. And I cannot wait to see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.